go. This is the Underground. Good evening. What's going on, everybody? Good to see everybody. Hope you're enjoying the evening. Get things cracking here. Catch up here. It looks like I've seen something fly by. All right, Paula, welcome to the Underground. Much love. Good to see everybody. Thank you, Minx, E-Fits, all the mods, Pixie, Geo. Thank you for sending all the emails too, brother. All the pictures and stuff. Salutes, Hoodie Ross. R.I.P. to your father, my man. And much love. Prayers with you. And anyone else out there that needs them. D. White and fam. Good to see Susie Q. Tooge. Thank you for sharing the stream. Kev Bar. Lone Warrior. Kenny G. Thank all of you out there. I want to thank all you guys that share the stream. Appreciate it to the fullest. Let me get everything dialed in here. All right, everything looking good. 5x5 is good across the board. All right. If you need to get anything to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. Or at me in the chat. And what do we got there? IQ gifting 5 memberships. Well, welcome to the Underground, everyone that got them. And again, much love. Got plenty to cover here tonight. I can only ever fit so much in the title, so we're going to get it popping off here with an update real quick on space weather before we jump into some weather and weather warfare stuff here. We do got a CME heading toward Earth. Ka, thank you for the coffee. Appreciate it to the fullest. Turn that down. And this CME that's incoming could spark a G1 class storm. But as we've seen, these G1s can turn into G4s at any time. Just a heads up. And there was a massive conjunction of the planets, a very rare conjunction that took place. I missed it myself. I wish I could have seen it. If any of you guys witnessed that, let me know. Thank you, MC. Got any images of it, anything like that? But got a lot of space stuff. I'm going to have to go back to the charts and pull up some stuff, man. Years ago, I used to drop these videos of events in the heavens connected to like biblical stuff. And one of the most recent things that I came across that matched biblical text plus matched in the heavens was the whole thing with the virgin or the woman clothed in the sun with the moon at her feet with the dragon waiting to consume her child. And all that is playing out in the heavens. I did a video on it. And it's not like it just happened in like 1 year. These are astrological things that stay in motion for many, many years, and they play out more and more. And actually, you have Jupiter entering her womb and going through it in this process. I think we need to go back and take a good look at all that stuff. Because whether you realize it or not, some of the most powerful people on this planet, they dictate the events they're going to pull off and everything that they do in regards to what's happening above. As above, so below, if you will. But they do this more than you know. So when certain windows in time open up, certain things, retrogrades of planets and things like that, you may think, oh, that's just tarot card crap. I'm telling you, you can take whatever you want. That's the magic working on you to get you to look the other way. Because these are master magicians and wizards. Even that 6 star that they're using, connected back to the whole Seal of Solomon, the controlling of jinn. You need to know who you're dealing with here. Yeah. And it looks like everything else is good in space weather. Let me jump into the weather. Because this is what I feel is going to affect a lot of people in the coming days. And it seems the conditions are right for bad things to happen. And you know them. They never let a good crisis go to waste. So, much love, Deanne. Bones. What we have here is a powerful cross-country storm system that's set to unleash strong winds. Millions of people are going to feel this. They're already calling for power outages across many states. So if like your state doesn't have it or get hit bad, if you've got any people that are able to go help in other states, I'm sure they're going to send them. That's often what happens. Every time bad hurricanes come through, you'll see them send them from Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, Midwest sector. You'll see them on the highway, just trains of equipment and electric dudes and all this other stuff making their way down to help clean up. We're probably going to see something like that. This is kind of odd. When I see systems like this that are like spun up and they're like steered directly right across the United States and it stays on the ground the entire time, it's very not normal. Because most storm systems have a front line. They come in, they have a pattern to them, which most of you have seen your whole life. This thing isn't going to like touch down and lift up or anything like that. It's just going to be strong winds being pushed all across the country. I see this, I've come to notice like once a year, this happens, I've picked up on throughout the years, and it's in the fall. And I'd say since I noticed it every single time in fall, there's a shift. There's a point where a strong wind comes through, and it's like a constant wind. It happens for about a day. It's about a day. This comes through, it's this constant strong wind that pushes through, and it's like it's pushing in the changing of the season almost every single time. The cold air follows it. And I look for that now because it's the signal to me from Earth itself that the season is changing. And every single time, at least where I'm at in Kentucky, down here, that's my experience and what I'm seeing. And I've just noticed it's like a thing that's always there. So now we've got this line coming across the country that's not normal. I'm just saying, a lot of people are going to get caught off guard by this. They're not expecting it. This is going to spin up tornadoes. Strong storm systems, they're saying. It's all we know as of right now. I'll show you some of these projections. High winds through Monday night are going to affect areas from Rapid City all the way down into Texas. Super high winds into New Mexico. Then it doesn't just dissipate or disappear. It fires up more and starts to move east. You can see there's a fire danger through Tuesday in these areas of New Mexico and into Texas. This whole area. Dry conditions setting the stage for fires, man. People should watch out. We see this ahead of time. Look what's going on, and I'm going to talk about it more here in just a second. In South Carolina, and what we've seen in Maui, what we've seen in Cali, all these events, what fuels it is setting the conditions beforehand. And, where I'm at, there's been a lot of moisture, there's a lot of rain, a lot of snow. So we'd be less susceptible to fires and stuff like this. These drier conditions that set up, like they're abnormally seeing down in the Carolinas, it set the stage for all you got to do is get it sparked. Throw some controlled wind on it, and you can burn anything. And they can do that. They can easily do that with the weaponry and the devices they got. So going into Tuesday night, you can see that this spreads across a majority of the freaking country. Yeah. So everyone's going to be feeling it on Tuesday. And this is going to be taking down any loose objects you got outside, potentially. Anything, man. They can get blown around. These can bring these gusts of over 50 mile an hour. Some places could see up to 70 mile an hour gusts. And I just see it as a weapon. It's going to cause damage. People are going to get hit. They're not expecting it. And every time something like this happens, they go right back to their climate change card. Granted, this administration isn't playing that. But it doesn't mean they're going to stop with weather warfare. Because it begins. I'll never forget, a couple weeks ago, some dude walked outside, I guess, and had blue skies after Trump got elected. And he's like, Trump even stopped the chemtrails. And like, these small-minded people just take it and run with it. Like, oh, yeah, no, there's so much winning. Like, it's like ridiculous. Like, every now and then you're going to get a blue sky. Okay? Like, if it's that bad, you're not, there's major problems. But it was like the next day, and they were chemtrailing out here, and I seen it, and I seen it in other pictures. I follow Operation Chemtrails. It's always going down. It hasn't stopped. And what we've picked up on is a lot of times the chemtrailing, these projects, they'll do it before rain hits, rain events or moisture events, pretty much. Like clockwork. And if you're going days and days and days with no chemtrails, it can stay sunshine and beautiful. But like as soon as you see the chemtrails start getting laid out, it's within the 24 hours, it's going to start raining. That is a weapon in itself. I can't tell you how many of these events I've seen just in the past few years where they feel orchestrated. They hit towns and areas that just, Asheville, exactly, MB. It hits areas that, all your life it's never touched it. And but now it's jumping out and it's doing things like that. Up here where I'm at, when we got rocked a few years back, hardcore, by what I felt was an attack. It was like, we call them rain bombs. It's where if you're way far away on a camera and you see this in the distance happen, the sky literally opens up and it's like a bucket or a waterfall comes out of the cloud. Okay, that's not normal rain. It's like opening it up and literally Niagara Falls dumping out. And that much water coming down at one time is a weapon in itself. And I'm going to tell you firsthand, right here where we're at, it sliced the mountains. It sheared them off. It caused avalanches, landslides. And it's what they called a 1,000-year flood. Well, then you get it the very next year or 2 years later, and then they have no choice but to start calling it a 10-year flood. You went from 1,000 years, skipped hundreds, and now you're it's happening multiple times in 10 years. So we just had another round of flooding hit this area. Hazard, where I got family at, it blows me away, are still dealing with the high waters. They had to bring Argos out. I don't know if you know what those are. They're like four-wheelers, but with 6 wheels, and they go into the water and out. They're pretty damn cool and great for this area and for emergency situations. If you've got to get in to rescue people, this thing, look it up. It's pretty bad. But one of my cousins was stuck down there, cut off from the house. She's like, it's going to be another 11 days. And the flood water's done receded here. And it's like, life back to normal. But no, downstream, downriver where the water stacks up, for days and days and days more, people were cut off. And most of the world don't care. And these people got to be rescued and all this other stuff. And I keep saying it, Army Corps of Engineers is responsible for all the waterways and the way the water flows. If there's flooding like that happening in an area, well, something should be relieved. Like wherever it's backing up, it should be opened. And it's not rocket science. And that again, when simple things like that, when me and you could go out there, all of us here this next weekend with some equipment, and we could go down to an area and we could open it up and we could stop a lot of this flooding from happening, because that's all it ever is water backing up. And outside of the flash flooding, it's water backing up. Where roads are inundated, properties are inundated, bridges, it's been getting bad. It becomes like an ocean when you look out there, especially when you're up on a mountain, you're looking down, everything below is underwater. It's insane. It's insane. It's a crazy feeling, man. I remember years ago when we came down out of the house and it flooded. We were coming down the steep part down toward go to town. We looked down and that's what it was. It was like an ocean. We got video and pictures of all that. But you just never know anymore when it's going to happen. There's a massive power outage risk here from really, I mean, you can see New Orleans, Jackson, Little Rock, Kansas City, up to Omaha. I expect tornadoes and everything else to be spun up out of this, guys, and they're not. This is as much of a warning as you're going to be getting. Thank you for the coffee. Much love. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Look at that, though. Power outage risk for half the country, man. The heart of it. Oh, and it goes on. This is nuts. I told you, this thing doesn't just come through and leave. This is it bears down for days on end. So this is going to be day 3. Wednesday night. The same thing. Power outages, tree damage, up to 70 mile an hour in this corridor. Are you kidding me? Like, who's ready for this? I'm telling you, man, it's a weapon. I mean, it's events like this. They kill people easy. Target whatever. I mean, how are you going to stop this? How are you going to prepare for this? Where are you going to run? Where are you going to hide? The whole country is about to get hit. Day after day. A multi-day event. This is weather warfare, I'm telling you. Get ready. Hopefully, I pray to the Most High in heaven. He intervenes and he breaks this up, and, you know, there is a counterbalance to this. Enough people pray, it actually works. What else do you do? It's gonna be a big one. That's all I can do is put a warning on it. Now, on the other side of the coin, you can see here, critical wildfire risk for millions. South Carolina governor declares an emergency over the fires, of which we don't know how it was even sparked in South Carolina. Going to get to more of that here in a second. Here, again, look at this. These are the areas that have significant fire potential. You're talking New Mexico, Texas, where this is going to hit first. And then you could see Florida all the way up into the Carolinas. Up into the mountains there. It looks like it goes into Tennessee. So I guess you're talking Smoky Mountains, Blue Ridge Mountains. All that up and through there. Ozarks. Down and through here. Parts of it, I guess. But not as much. It's really the southeast and in this Texas region, the highest risk. In parts of Southern California. But again, the conditions are right. All they got to do is do the do. It's fairly easy. If something is just ready to go up, the conditions are right, somebody can throw a cigarette butt out. You know, they don't even have to do it, so to speak. You know, but all they got to do is roll helicopters out in these areas like we've caught on film, and the next thing you know, things start smoking below, and it's on. I'm just saying the stage is set. You should put some attention on this. You've got a crazy weather pattern setting up for the next couple days that I feel is a weapon. And it just so happens the conditions are just right across all these areas to burn up. And I just don't see how that is. I mean, I thought some of these regions would have got some of this rain that came through, or I don't know, man. Maybe not. They're further south than me. Maybe all this is dry. Apparently that's the warning. Okay? Yeah. And let's go to Myrtle Beach here. This is a bit of what's going on down there. I'm going to play some video clips. We're going to talk about a couple things. It seems they're already in damage control mode, trying to cover on this. And whenever they're trying to cover for something that, I don't know, when they start talking too much, I pick up on it. We're gonna look at that here in a second, but this is what they're facing now.
And Syria and Iraq and Iran and Africa, and they went all over the place. So that's where most of the Israelites went. So what law are you talking about, lady?
The other video is playing on top of that. My bad there. And here's a day shot. They're bringing the planes in. And they're trying to fight these fires. So this is 1,200 acres already. It's more than that by now. National Guard troops sent in to help fight it with the firefighters. You can see it's a blaze. Shout out to Kenny G. Much love, brother. He's down in the area, was sharing footage over on Twitter. Anyone else is down there, if you guys are experiencing any of this or caught in any of this, let me know. If you got any images, any information, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. Drop it in the chat or tag me over there on X as well. But this brings me to something I actually need to go over here on X. I'm going to pull up a video. Well, actually, I dropped the video earlier today right here on the channel. And in it, I played several different clips. So the ones I just showed you. And then also this clip. Now, lining this up here. Sheila, thank you for the coffee. Appreciate it to the fullest. Much love. Let me show you here first before I play a couple things. The Myrtle Beach Smart City Initiative. This isn't just for Myrtle Beach. This Smart Cities World, this website, if you sign up to it and all that, you get access to all the stuff that they got in there on all cities and on all kinds of information. But normally, if it's just us out here, the truthers talking about this, trying to expose what's going on, mainstream would come along and say it's a conspiracy. But it's like, hold up. You see that about everything, even the World Economic Forum, all this stuff. But it's real. And there's websites, real websites with real information that I guess somebody just made up. If that's the case, it's a story in itself. It's somebody made it all up, but you won't even approach it like that. You just say, oh, it's a conspiracy. Well, when you start calling something a conspiracy that's not a conspiracy, it shows that you're sketched about it. They're uneasy, okay? Now, what do we have here? Gizmodo, which reaches millions of people. What are they pushing to their people out there? Conspiracy theorists think Mark Zuckerberg started the Myrtle Beach wildfires. And that's garbage. Wild West, thank you for the super chat. That's total garbage. They completely fabricated this headline. They twisted it. They made it as clickbait as you could possibly think. And they slander conspiracy theorists, all trying to attack something which I'm about to show you. They should have crossed their T's and dotted their I's because they're getting smoked on this one. It shows they're trying to attack and call something a conspiracy when it's real. And I'm going to show you how real it is because other news outlets expose it. It's not just going to be me saying it. These outlets say it. So look at where they're going here. They think Zuckerberg started the Myrtle Beach wildfire. Somebody just concocted some title and threw it out there. I didn't hear no one saying this. I'm on top of the social media all day, every day. I see the feeds. I follow all kinds of people. I hear no one pushing or saying this nowhere, no how. No one said anything about this. Maybe somebody did somewhere, but not like it was some huge firestorm everyone's talking about. That's not the case. They're in damage control mode is the best way to put it when I see this, because it's something that they can't cover anymore. They can't hide it. The smart city thing is out of the bag. Okay? Not only did I show you the website, and now show you that they're trying to attack it. Look at this. Here's another one. MSN. MSN here. Wake Up America, thank you for the coffee. 707. This is two of them, okay? Myrtle Beach wildfire reignites unfounded smart city theory. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, Gizmodo, MSN, which are garbage, you need to shut down because you're just lies. You're full of crap lies. Look what you're doing. You're in damage control, big time, trying to sugarcoat the whole smart city thing because we're calling it out for what it is. It's just a tracking and tracing prison is all it is. And they're packaging it as this new way of life. Oh, let me just share some video with you now and show you how real it is. Okay? This isn't a conspiracy. This is real.
Plans to turn Myrtle Beach into Meta Beach. It's all part of making the city a smart city using new advanced technology. Our Ali Espinosa joins us live from downtown Myrtle Beach tonight. And Ali, city staff are actually calling this the fourth industrial revolution.
Did you hear that?
Upgrade. So what does that mean for us here in Myrtle Beach?
Just said the fourth and said the quiet part out loud. Wild West thank you for the super chat. Did you hear me? Let me back this. I'm going to start this up where we catch us from the top. This is very important. For MSN and Gizmodo, they better get with it. Okay? Because this isn't a conspiracy. This is real. And these ladies are going to expose just how real it is right here. Okay, so pay attention. For those that just have to have a mainstream stamp on something to swallow it.
Plans to turn Myrtle Beach into Meta Beach. It's all part of making the city a smart city using new advanced technology. Our Ali Espinosa joins us live from downtown Myrtle Beach tonight. And Ali, city staff are actually calling this the fourth industrial revolution. Talk about the ultimate upgrade. So what does that mean for us here in Myrtle Beach?
Rachel, the overall goal is to improve our quality of life here in Myrtle Beach, and city staff say they're working to do that through new technology, and it's all starting right here in downtown Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach.
It's the second fastest growing city in the entire country. From its 60-mile beach to hosting one of the biggest country music festivals, Myrtle Beach is no doubt an area that has a lot to offer, and plans to bring it to the next level are ahead.
What we're looking to do, or what we're trying to do here, is create an urban environment where technology can help us improve our experiences, whether it's the services you receive from your local government, the experiences you have as a tourist in our town or a visitor in our town, but also, how we conduct business with our businesses.
Myrtle Beach Chief Innovation Officer Howard Waldy IV says he's been working to make Myrtle Beach a smart city since March of 2022. They're teaming up with Jennifer Hotai, co-founder of OS.
Did you hear that? He's been working to make this a smart city, Myrtle Beach, since 2022. Do you understand this? This is the mainstream media news. Again, Gizmodo, MSN that want to attack it and call it a conspiracy theory. You're garbage. All right? This is real. There's websites on it, other news outlets, even mainstream reporting on it. So it shows they're in damage control mode on the subject. So we're going to air it out.
Verse and Grand Strand Web3 Guild, their teams are wanting to make the city more advanced to improve the quality of life for you and your family and any Myrtle Beach visitors.
And as you can see, so they're using it as improving the quality of life. That is the excuse to create their digital prison. That's all these smart cities are at this point. What I missed there in the super chat. Much love. Thank you, Lakeville. And another one there, Skeeby. Much love. Thank you, guys. So, here we have, in the open, a smart city plan. We didn't call it Meta. We didn't call it none of that. These people did. The mainstream did. And you see what they want to do. They want to do the same thing. There just so happens to be a plan in place, just like in California, before the fire set, Smart LA, 2028 or whatever it was that we uncovered, a whole plan for the entire corridor there that caught on fire to be used. And then we saw the crazy stuff where they were not allowing people to go back to their homes. They were using the military, stopping people. I don't even know if that's still the case. Stopping people from going there, which is just crazy. Like, you have to ask yourself what's going on there. I know places that have burnt down left and right. Never have I ever seen the military position there, stopping them from going back. As I said here recently, we had a house burned down on one of these roads heading to town. And ain't no military, ain't nobody down there telling them that it's unsafe, can't be there. Like, none of that crap. They're staying in a camper in their driveway 5 feet from the house that burned down. Like, who's going to tell them any other way? That's what I just don't get. You go to California and it's backwards. Like, no, they try to go to their house just burnt down, and the military is being used against us. I thought they weren't supposed to be able to do this crap, but that's exactly what they're doing. It's pathetic. Again, the conditions are right for massive fires to go up in the coming days. Okay? With all this in motion, I'm sure there's plenty of other smart cities out there that are planned, just like this one. It's just one that we're exposing. Matter of fact, you go to that website that I was just at, it lists all of them. So you can just, if your city is a smart city, you can just Google it, just look it up. A list of smart cities, just look it up. And you're going to find something. And you're going to be like, oh crap, our city is a smart city, planned to be a smart city. Like, oh crap, you better be packing bags. Preparing. Hoping you ain't got no smart meter on that house. Any of it. Anyhow, all right. So, I'm going to keep it pushing. We've just covered the Smart Cities Initiative and the weather warfare and the fires. All there. Trump looking to bolster the nation's lumber supply. And this is crazy how he's saying it. He's like, we're going to open up our forests. It's like, open them up. We're gonna free up our forests for lumber production. That means that they're going to get cut down, chopped up, and sold. That's what it means. But he doesn't say it like that. Never does he. It's always in a vaguely worded way. It's black magic. So instead of coming out and saying, yeah, we're going to chop down a ton of our forest and use it, he don't want people to see it in that light. So he says it in a different way. He paints the picture that, oh, we're not going to be dependent on Canada. We don't need their trees, and this and that. And it's also a move toward Canada to try to say, F you, like, we don't need your trees. So that's going to free up forests here that he's looking to chop down and sell in mass. That's going to need to be a lot. Okay? I'm here to tell you, we don't have a lot here. We don't. Can you see that he is like scrambling for natural resources? Can't you see it? Because I can. There's probably nothing out there more valuable at this point than a good piece of property that has natural resources. Timber, coal, natural gas, all those things. I'm going to say in the coming years, there's a high chance that's the value of a property like they could double. I know guys like down here in Eastern Kentucky, like there's a guy that we know that like he'll go through and he'll snatch up properties and they'll go through and they'll just like log them. And I don't agree with it. But he's got the money to do what he wants. He'll buy a piece of property, he'll log it, and make a ton of money. Just leave it sit there. He'll put it back up for sale, try to sell it. But no one wants to buy because it looks like a war zone. And chop down most of the trees, and there's just pieces everywhere, and there's track marks everywhere, and it's all, no. But cats are like doing this. And they're making a killing on it. Making a killing on it. And other people that come through that want land for cheap, some, they see it as an opportunity, even though it's a war zone. They'll come in and try to clean it up some, and they'll take it. But it's not the natural beauty of the land, man. They're devastating it. They're wrecking it. I see it firsthand. I mean, I'm out here in coal country, man. These boys are out here in the mountains somewhere, 20 miles away, and they want to blast a coal seam somewhere and rock it. Boy, you'll feel it. Because we walked out the, well, I'll never forget one day I walked up there and I heard it for the first time. Like, what was that? Because my wife was telling me about it. I'm like, hold on. You know, I haven't experienced it yet. And I walked out and I experienced it. And I was like, hold up. Like that was loud. But hitting them coal seams, man. Not to mention, I see a lot of these coal places that got shut down springing back to life because Trump's like doing that. That is the plus side of it. I would say get it while the getting is good. If you're looking for ways to make money, opportunity, especially during this 4 years that Trump's in there, he's reversing all this stuff. And again, if you can get a piece of property for cheap somewhere, it's got natural resources on it, I'll just turn around, put it back up for sale, pointing out that it has all that stuff. Mineral rights is key, man. You know, no sense of getting all this property if you don't have the mineral rights. So that is key. So I'm just saying. And what's this? Trump came out and announced today $100 billion investment in these Taiwan chips, in U.S. chips. This was the big announcement. Everyone was like, what's going to happen? What's he going to talk about? I got a quick clip here. It's about a minute long. Listen.
Today, Taiwan Semiconductor is announcing that they will be investing at least $100 billion in new capital in the United States over the next short period of time to build state-of-the-art semiconductor manufacturing facilities. I think mostly it's going to be in Arizona, which is what I understand, which is a great state. I like it because I won it, but I won most of them, actually. So, but we won it, and we won it big. The most powerful AI chips in the world will be made right here in America, and it'll be a big percentage of the chips made by his company. But as you know, they're based mostly in Taiwan, and they're far and away the biggest. There's nobody even close. This $100 billion in new investment will go into building 5 cutting-edge fabrication facilities in the great state that we just discussed, Arizona, and will create thousands of jobs, many thousands of jobs, and the high-paying jobs. In total, today's announcement brings Taiwan Semiconductor investments to about $165 billion. They've started already.
Okay, that's huge, okay? And it's a dig against China. All this is, if you can't tell, this whole thing is set up us against China.
That comes from this community. We are networking.
Oh my gosh, they did not just play that guy. Shell alert. This is a huge move. This is huge. This Taiwan company, they moved the production to the United States, which is key. That way, if war does pop off, it's being made in the United States, even though it's a Taiwan company, and the biggest company out there. Listen to what he said. He didn't just say chip. He said AI, chip manufacturer. Okay? They are making moves, and they said this. They're making moves to be the leaders in AI and crypto. Okay? And I've talked about the whole thing with crypto, and he's played everybody out with signing an executive order saying that he's not going to have a CBDC. It doesn't matter. Apparently, those people don't understand anything about what the threat even was or anything about blockchain. Because, like I said before, with the other hand, he turned around and he gave him Trump coin, gave him the blockchain, supporting WorldCoin, all this other stuff, and no one said a word. It's ridiculous. It's black magic at its finest, I'm telling you. And he pulled it off. He did. And it's just going to take an event, a banking event, where people can't get their money out of the banks. That's what's coming. And they're going to say, download this wallet or whatever, digital whatever, and they're going to send you the digital dollar. Called Trump money, whatever the hell they got to tell the sheep. It's already over. It's over. They've corralled the herd. They've got them all under the spell. And that's the thing. That's all they cared about. If they just got a majority, if they got that herd and could control it, that was their whole goal. They knew they weren't going to get everybody. And they were going to be dissident, so to speak, and people like us out here calling out the truth every step of the way. But by and large, they got what they wanted. They did an easy one. They set it up like two evils. And most people, we even admit this. But, well, we couldn't vote for Biden or Kamala, but that was the trap. You don't participate in it. But we're beyond that. For everyone that voted for it, now you got to deal with it. And you got to hold it accountable. For anyone that voted for Obama in the past, Bush, Clinton, anyone, a president has to be held accountable. Their administration has to be held accountable. You can't just like, oh, he's in, hoorah, and turn a cheek to everything. That right there has got to be the most disgusting and appalling thing that I see out of this whole thing, is all the people that turn a cheek. And I'm talking people that I know, people that are on social media out there, people that are supposed to be friends, and this and that. Every time the hot topic, anything connected to Trump comes up, they won't tweet it, they won't touch it, they'll turn a cheek to it. It's disgusting. It's pathetic. And there's a line being drawn in the sand. And all this jumping on the Trump train for individuals, it's going to catch up to you at some point. Some point, it's going to be a full curtain drop. And the horns are going to be showing full. You ain't going to be able to hide it. Sad part is you know this, and you're still riding the train. You're like trying to ride the fence or something. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, if you know the evils that exist here and the game's being played, like, you better be calling it out. Because anyone that's like trying to push the agenda and like go along with this crowd, I don't know why you're doing it. Like, either they've gotten to you or you're doing it for money. It's one of the two. Like, some of you I know aren't this dumb. And I know you've got it. You listen to the show, and all this other stuff. Like, I know you see it for what it is. But yet you're still repping the Trump train. I guess you're just using it. Everybody's just, I don't know. I see a lot of people using the Trump train, make money, all this other stuff. It's been sickening. It's been sickening. It's been sickening. Disgusting. Again. Just go all the way back to the other Trump time. Hillary for prison. I watched so many people sell that t-shirt. So many different people made millions just off that t-shirt and that slogan. Hillary for prison. It was stickers, shirts, and all this. Every time you'd go to an event, that's like all it was. People had these booths set up, and people were just trying to make money off of the crowd. And it's disgusting. Or going there and getting their pictures taken with all these politicians that have sold us out, taking pictures, thinking they're cool because they know all these people. They're running in these circles with these people. Oh, yeah, you're cool. Running with the people that sold us out. You should be over here calling this stuff out, but you're not. You're over there like a little cheerleader with them, sucking them and fluffing them, and it's pathetic. I'm sick of it. It's the reason that we have no patriots anywhere. They've been seduced by MACA. They're all idle. I remember before Trump came along, we had a thing called militias in this country, and they were active. Do you remember that? I do. And they had honeypots trying to set us up back then. Bundy Ranch, Wildfire Refuge, all these other things to go after the militias. Okay? We'll see Trump come along, and they're gone. They exist, some do, but nothing like they did. There's no movement. Name it. Show them. Show them somewhere. Making a stand, rallying, anywhere. Nowhere you can. There's no one doing anything. We've been calling for this the whole time. Go down, help with the border, all this other stuff. And we've got pockets and guys out there that do. Salutes to you. You know who you are. But they're small pockets, man. They're not They're not large groups that we used to have. It's not there. They all, instead of getting together on the weekend, you know, they spend their Sundays watching football, and they spend their Saturdays at the Trump rally. You know? That's how it was, and it has been. Now Trump's in, there's no more rallies. So it's what do you do with your time? Hey, we got a lot of things going on here. War's about to pop off at the border. I'm going to touch more on that here in a minute. It's going to hit home real hard. Let me keep pushing. Here is Karen. Thank you for that. Some people don't want to hear this. Well, I'm sorry. I'm here to deliver the truth, and not to sugarcoat things to make you feel good. Okay? Somebody's got to do it. And I'm just a realist. Fool me once, whatever, you gotta fool me again. And once we snuff these things out, like it's done. Iron Metal, thank you for the coffee, man. God bless. Philly. Let's jump into the cryptos. Trump starts shilling BTC and Ether. The cryptos just tanked. They went down. And what it was a massive sell-off on FUD, which is negative news that was put out there. And just right on perfect time, as it hits the bottom, starts to come up off the bottom, they blast it off and they drop the news. Or they bring it out and they say that he's going to have this White House summit on crypto. And he makes these comments. He mentions XRP, Sol, these other coins around Bitcoin, and it pumps them. You could have ran over and looked at the charts, and you would have seen that like XRP and Sol and ADA, which is Cardano, they all pumped because they're going into the Bitcoin reserve. I'm gonna tell you now, it's a huge move. You're gonna see states follow. You're gonna see other places, other countries follow. The Gentile Messiah. They're following these moves. And it's going to cause what I feel is about to be like an extended bull market with crypto. Something that may have never been seen before. Because we're in a pullback phase right now. Like I just said, it dumped down like upper 70s, like lower 80s or something the other day. It was a really healthy pullback. You need that in the markets. You need healthy corrections. Unlike our current economic bubble we're in, it's just parabolic. There's been no healthy corrections along the way. It's just parabolic, ready to bust. But crypto here is different. It's its own animal, and Bitcoin is the driver. It's like the digital gold. Okay, Ethereum is like the silver, and then you've got all these altcoins, hundreds, thousands at this point that follow. They make them daily just to pump them. And what's crazy is they could make one, throw it out there, only have a couple $1,000 market cap, and think someone could come along and in a day they run this thing up to like millions in a market cap. It happens. It's insane. It's what they're doing. And this is how dudes are getting rich, like every day. Doing $100 on a coin in like within 48 hours, like crossing $1 million. It's nuts. This is why they're talking. This is going to be the greatest transfer of wealth of your lifetime. Are you going to participate in it or not? Because there's two things being pitched here and two things happening. True, we're going into a digital age and you should adjust and know all the things. We've warned about this, the downside of this. I have since 2017, the blockchain itself. If you don't have righteous people running things, it doesn't matter what it is. Things can be used bad, nefariously. And that's the thing with blockchain. It's going to be used to track everything and take away your freedom and your privacy and all that crap that we don't want. But that's what they're going to do because they're bad. Blockchain can be used in a lot of good ways. It sure can. For filing away information for any business on anything, for miles, for things sold, anything out there. for records on a daily basis. It has its pluses. But so does a weapon, like a gun. You can use it for defense, or the wrong person can get it and cause bad things, right? It's the same thing, man. So blockchain it's here. People need to get educated and caught up to what it all is. It's pretty simple in the end. There's a couple different things connected to it, like ledgers and things like that. And you should probably do some homework on it. I remember back in 2017 when we kind of like figured out, it's 2016. We were like, this is going to be the next money. Like this wherever they're taking this. So like we wanted to know about it. We were like, we're going to get ahead of the curve on this. And like we spent days and nights studying this, reading white papers, projects, how it's set up, how bots, we were running bots, we were building bots. I mean, Watchers built bots. They had them running on TradingView, still got them. I just don't use them. We went deeper on this, dude. And I watched dudes make millions. It's there. That's what I'm telling you. I've never seen another opportunity there, for that. But you have to know the ups and the downs of it. My biggest warning was it can be a tax trap because they were not clear on it. But now that the Trump administration's come out and said, look, there's no taxes on American-based coins when you sell them or trade them. That's what Eric Trump said. He's on record saying that. Yet to see anything official and concrete, but they could be coming anytime. The crypto summit is coming up. The OBS kicks out and back in, and it's true. You'd be able to track this all on an open public ledger. You know, the thing about Bitcoin is, and I told you, your privacy's out the window. We were just talking about this, me and a couple of the guys, about BlackRock. How did we know BlackRock just was about to make moves and dump some of their Bitcoin? Because it was figured out who owns what wallets they have in all this. And as soon as you have that, it's over. Then you can track their every move. And they seen that they put like 100 million worth of Bitcoin over to the exchange. Well, you only do that for one reason, and it's to sell. Because it's already bought. You see? You don't move it out of your cold wallet and storage over to an exchange for any other reason except for to sell and to dump. So when you see these moves, it's very indicative that dumps are coming and moves of that nature. And there was just a flash crash on Bitcoin. And it could have very well just been them dumping it right there. They dump and they short on the way down. And this is what nobody sees. They're making money while they're selling with the other hand. They're setting the short, knowing they're a whale. And they can dump this market. They'll go and they'll sell and they'll dump it. But they have short set on other accounts over here. And they're making money the whole way down. And they influenced it. You see? Do you see? This is the game. You get hip to it. And there's mass money to be made here. This is why they say this is going to be the biggest transfer of wealth in terms of for what people can get, the everyday average Joe. If you wanted a chance like the dot-com bubble or anything like that, I'm going to tell you that when they took away the taxes on this, if they're serious about that, anything that's non-taxable is an opportunity. I mean, give me a break. The precious metals, the gold and silver, with no taxes on them. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. I don't know when you're ever going to have opportunities like this to sell these things with no taxes on it again. I would take full advantage of it. And with gold and silver, they just keep going up. Just get in or pull back. I would not invest. I wouldn't spend a dime on an ETF or anything market-wise with gold and silver. Gold and silver, any precious metal, it's something that I'm looking to hold physical if you're going to get it. Bury it, you know? Deep under a mountain somewhere. Because if there's no gold in Fort Knox, they're coming for your gold. It's going to be by executive order, and some people just... Yeah. And Trump would revalue it at that point. Seriously, if there's none in Fort Knox, which is highly suspected at this point, Like, what happened to it? What happened to it? What happened to all the talk? Elon said, we're going there with cameras and we're going, where? It's gone. They never did it. He actually said, we're going tomorrow. And Trump even went on camera and said, yeah, oh yeah, we're going. You don't know. You don't know. He said in that airplane clip where they hit the bump. He's like, oh, it was a big one. Like, yeah. He said, oh yeah, we're going to Fort Knox. It's never happened. They're blowing smoke all over the place. It's like RFK, just like Bondi, toss his punk ass. Like, dude, it's all, it's the beast, man. They gave everybody an all-star, they gave the sheep this all-star team to chew on and to be happy with. All this winning. And they're just ignoring these. I know they're seeing and hearing this stuff. A bunch of them are just ignoring it, and it's sickening. They have to be honest, man. Like, people's integrity and everything else going out the window. With this. You've got to hold these people accountable. You're going to go down in history as helping to pray freaking Antichrist sin. No, I'm not going to argue over which one is but they're all in the name of and the spirit of at this point. You can tell. All Gentile Messiah is obviously picked. Elon ain't even elected. World richest man up there. But he's backing all the Zio, right? He is. Which brings me to this next thing. 8 consecutive weeks of gold sends a warning about paper assets. So this warning sign stacking up that, and if there's no gold in Fort Knox again, dude, it's going to damage everything. Like, you're going to watch everything fall apart. Maybe they know this. Many would say, Trump knows. He already knows. Just like he already knew about the UFOs and he keeps his mouth shut about certain things. Of course, he's playing the game. He's an actor. He is better than an actor. I got to come up with a word how to put this. These people are beyond actors. Actors are like in Hollywood. These are like the elite of elite actors, and they use them in real life acting. And that's where they go. It's where Reagan came from. It's where Schwarzenegger came from. All this, they come. Even Trump, you're fired. You ever forget? He's on freaking television, on freaking shows in the evening, getting dropped into the minds of the masses. Also in Home Alone and all this other stuff. I mean, the political realm is the real acting. It's where it counts. And if you've got any real skill, this is where they want you. This is where they need you, to sell the crowd. Especially if you've got, I don't know, what Trump's got. He has built this aura around him. Y'all know it. Y'all see it. No one else has that. And no one's going to be able to replace that. Like J.D. Vance, I don't care how hard they're trying to prime him to be the next, whatever, take the torch. I don't think it's going to happen. Only way, and they are trying to make Trump president 4 more years after this one. They're pushing to amend the Constitution and everything else because what they're trying to say is that every president should have a shot at an 8-year run, uninterrupted, because they feel that they were cheated out of, with the whole Biden thing, that everyone should have an 8-year run, a shot at it. And it would only apply to living presidents at this point. In Obama had his 8 years. I run again or anything. It would only basically work here for Trump or anyone in the future that fell under this whole thing where they ran 4 years and then the next 4 years they weren't in, and same thing. Then they come back and if they push this, man, and they're very serious about this, very, very serious about this. They don't have to go, like they've won the crowd over at this point, like I told you. They got them where they want them. Why would they even want to fiddle with anything else in 4 years? They know that if they just run Trump, everything should be in the bag, right? Well, I don't know, man. I don't know when I think about it because we've got some crazy events that are about to happen on Trump's watch that people just are oblivious to. I try to warn about them all the time, but we've got huge events that are about to pop off like 9/11 style type stuff, economically and everything else too. That brings me back around to gold here. Gold is king. The monopoly machine, monopoly money they can print is nothing. This one says the next gold move will surprise the world. And Trump said he would not be surprised if there's no gold in Fort Knox. How? How can you even say that? How, as the sitting president, can you spend a night not knowing? How can you even say, this is a stage, man. We're being played like a fiddle.
We're also going to Fort Knox. I'm going to go with Elon. And would anybody like to join us?
Oh, he's rubbing it in your face.
Because we want to see if the gold is still there. We want to see. Wouldn't that be terrible? We open up this Fort Knox. It's just solid granite that's 5 feet thick. The front door, you need 6 musclemen to open it up. I don't even think they have windows. Wouldn't that be terrible if we opened it up and there was no gold there? So we're going to open those doors. We're going to take a look. And if there's 27 tons of gold, we'll be very happy. I don't know how the hell we're going to measure it, but that's okay. We want to see lots of nice, beautiful, shiny gold in Fort Knox. Don't be totally surprised. We open the door, we'll say, there's nothing here. They stole this too. Now, we have a very corrupt group of people in this country, and we're finding them out.
Oh, really? Really? The way he just put it, dude. Dude, I'm going to tell you, there's probably going to be no gold at this point. I hadn't seen this clip. He keeps repeating this. And again, they're not doing it. The clip I seen, he was on the airplane telling this lady. So this is different. I don't know what. So he made this announcement saying this. They still have not done it. Dude, did you see where he just spun it? He's going to blame it on them. Just like they're doing everything. They're blaming billions and billions and billions of dollars missing. Why wouldn't the gold be missing too? Do you see? Who's going to jail? Riddle me that, Robin. Huh? Who's going to jail? Not a single person being mentioned. Dude, this is a grand heist. Right in front of your face. And it is like hidden and glossed over as transparency. And it's not. This is a magic trick. Again, this is the highest level of black magic you could ever imagine. It's working on the masses. They're coming out every day telling you billions, trillions is missing, all the gold's missing. Who took it? They're going to tell you a bunch of dead people took it a long time ago or something. They don't know. They're going to have to open an investigation. We'll get back to you. Like, yeah, that's what's about to happen. I mean, people don't protest for nothing no more. They just sit on their ass and they just watch and do nothing. And that's to the detriment of this country. Yeah. People need to be out there applying pressure. They need to be voicing their opinions. They need to be bringing up these issues. They need to be holding them accountable. Not just letting them have a cakewalk. So, when they tell you that no gold is there, and even if they show you gold, how are you going to prove it's real? He just said, I don't even know how we're going to weigh it. Like, it's called a scale. Mr. President. It's called a scale. Dude, the way he spun this at the end, like, I don't even know what we're going to do if it's not in there. What do you do? 27 tons. You got a lot of bad people and a lot of corruption in this country. That's it. That's it. It shows me where they're taking this whole thing. That's the assessment. That's the assessment. There should be, he said 27 tons. If there's only 27 tons, he would be happy. Well, how could you even say that? If there's only 27 tons, and why would you say 27 tons? What an odd number and weird thing to say. Okay, there should be 4,600 tons in there. Okay? Valued at $430 billion is what it says here. It says that the U.S. allegedly holds 8,100 tons of gold in Fort Knox, with the most remaining reserves stored at the New York Fed. Okay, we'll go in there and check that too. This is a dog and pony show, man. Some people got nothing better to do every day and just, I guess, love it or something. Like it's a soap opera. Literally. That's what this has turned into. To the detriment of our country. You know it. Yep. Just zombies running around. Didn't matter. Nowhere to run at this point, huh? Oh, man. So, if you buy gold or silver and you want to send it somewhere, or anything at that matter, you might want to think twice before going through FedEx. Because these people, a North Carolina woman, sent $20,000 worth of gold and silver coins through FedEx, as secure as you could possibly get it, and it's missing. It's gone. And I'm going to tell you what, when you go through this route and you secure it as fully as you can secure it through them, take all the protection that you can, all this, in the end here, they should be responsible. FedEx should be coughing up $20,000 to this woman, and if they find the gold or whatever, then they can recoup or whatever, but it's their responsibility. It should be protected. So this tells me, I ain't sending nothing through FedEx when apparently someone scandalous is got a process to be able to figure out what's in some of these packages and all this other stuff. I mean, there's some scandalous people out there, man. And they do a lot of things, you know. If they can figure out a way to get away with just snatching up gold and silver and get away with $20,000 worth, somebody somewhere tonight is sitting pretty on all this. But, yeah, Raw, I hate being poor, too. Yeah. But, it's what it is. We fight from the gutter. We need a righteous billionaire, that's for sure. And yeah, his life would probably be endangered. Anyone that was fighting against the beast, you'd have to protect him. You'd have to be underground, maybe even Machiavelli'd. But you need it. We don't have one. We don't have a righteous warrior. There's these fakes out here posing, acting like they're that guy, but they're not that guy. All right, so let's move on here to the economic warfare that's breaking loose now. Canada, Mexico, China, they got a deadline. It's midnight, a couple hours from now. The tariffs kick in. And I think Trump just came out and just out of nowhere just threw an extra 10% on China. It's 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, but a 10% for Canadian energy. It just says another 10% next to China, on top of what's already in motion. And we don't know how they're going to respond until they respond, if a country wants to do the same. But I've told you the magic trick to this as well. Man, see how it all keeps coming back to the same thing? It's truly that. He's pushing tariffs out there, and all of the people that support him are just like, okay. And it's like, okay. Do you understand what a tariff is? It means we're going to be paying more for goods that we need from these places. That's not good. That's more money we're spending. You wonder why he's willing to do away with the IRS, all this other crap. He's made this external revenue service. Is because he's fooled his crowd. Look, they haven't even said anything about it. They haven't even questioned it. We're going on with it. Yeah, so they are. They're going on with it. So this means all the goods that you want to buy now from Canada or through Mexico are going to have tariffs of 25% connected. It's going to be that much higher. This isn't new. He did this last administration on many goods that went up hundreds of dollars. He sure did. But since people live in a bubble and got short memories, it's just over their head. And it's ridiculous. For those that see it, prepare. It's beginning right here. This is going to hurt the consumer that's already been hurt and trampled through all this Biden stuff. It's going to hurt in terms of making things more expensive. And see, your wages aren't going up at this point. So that's the only way to fill the gap. And it's not happening. So it's just all this talk about tariffs. And it's now in effect. Just so you know. That's the reality of it. But again, Black Magic has his whole mass thinking this is a good thing. Too much winning. Like, dude, y'all been smacked with too many stupid sticks. Like, this is crazy. Now, this is a positive with Trump's tactics. Again, we give the good, the bad, and the ugly here. We're raw and we're real about it. We don't sugarcoat nothing. We ain't hiding from nothing. Okay? He want to do something stupid, we're calling him out. If something positive pops up, we're going to have to shed some light on it too. It's what's fair and balanced, for real. So Honda announces it's going to build its next generation Civic in Indiana, not Mexico. Why? To avoid these tariffs. That's how bad of a crunch it's going to have. Because they know that the consumer is going to have to pay this tariff. You see, they're seeing that. So it's a ploy to get people, businesses to come here. And this is a good one. This is good on Trump's. This is the good, savvy business part of Trump that is good. Okay? But as I told you before, if people were to call his bluff or just say no en masse, if the bullies on the other side were just like be strong together and say F you and like say no en masse, it would hurt. It would kill us. It would crush us. Everything would backfire. But it ain't working that way. They've got Trump set up as this Gentile Messiah on the world stage to go around striking these deals. He even said it in that other interview. He goes, I make deals. I do deals. That's what I've done my whole life. I do deals. So he has literally been picked to come through and do all these deals, to broker these peace deals on the world stage. And he has been dubbed the Prince of Peace by the rabbis, the Jewish rabbis, and they call him the Gentile Messiah. Okay? This isn't a movie. This isn't a fairy tale. This is real life. Okay? This is how it's shaping up to be. So, and if you missed it, the rabbi also said that he, Trump, on his watch, is to hand over the United States into a new empire ran by Israel under their Messiah. If you missed all this, that's going to sit in the new temple. Yep. If you missed it all, okay? This is what I told you before. It doesn't matter, all in all, what anybody thinks out here. Like, you can believe in Jesus, Yeshua, God, the Most High. You can have all the beliefs you want. But when you've got literal people out there that in their belief system and their religion, they want to see us dead, that's who's running the show. And they get the nerve to try to look at anyone and say, oh, you're violent or you're this and that, when your religious texts call for killing us. That's insane. Okay? But yet that's the world we live in. And that's who's controlling the show. And that's who controls Trump and J.D. Vance and all of them. Okay? With their big black hats. I showed it in the video. It's there. It's there. It's proven. Y'all know the connection that Trump has with Netanyahu and all that. And boy, yeah, I was at 6 seeing him tuck the chair up underneath BB. BB is set up there with his evil little grin signing his paper. Dude, Trump don't do that for no one. No one. No leader, no one. You know what Trump does to other world leaders? He goes up and he grabs them and he jerks their arm out of socket. That's what he does. with his power moves. Okay, that's what he does. Okay, now Netanyahu, he's tucking that chair right up underneath his butt, making sure he's all comfy. And you can see who has the real power. And people better get hip, man, to what's going down. Oh, before I get out of the economics, they always want to say there's not a recession or a depression or any of this going on. Well, now the Atlanta Fed model suddenly signals that a U.S. recession is right here, is upon us. So here it goes. They saved this to do on Trump's watch, again, so they can sit over there and blame him, the other side. But they did all, this is a culmination of decades of everything. You know, when this bubble pops, it's not Trump's fault. To his defense, he walked into this mess. There's nothing he was ever going to do in 4 years to change it. Righteously. You know, and I leave the caveat out there that there's always a chance that one of these goons could flip the script. They could pull a JFK. Do they have that in them? I don't know. I don't know about that here. It may be too much wishful thinking. I think JFK was JFK, and we got him, and we had him, and he came, and he went, and you seen what they did to him. And the rest of all these goons are just sellouts. Even the current Kennedy. Because you see how they do real Kennedys. You see? JFK Jr., his daddy RFK. You see what happens to the real ones. You see what happens. You see what happens. You don't get promoted by the beast when you're fighting the fight against it. Okay? That's what's sickening about some of these people representing names and blood, especially him. I'm so disgusted with that guy. With RFK and the whole thing. And I'll touch on him in just a minute. I want to point this out, though, because this is coming. It's already here. This is already here. Okay? In every bank, it was ordered years ago that every single bank in the nation, understand this, big, small, every account create and form a digital wallet for that account. It was by law, FDIC. Okay? This was to be done. Why? Just in case if there was ever a need, the government could get emergency funds to anyone. So it's just sitting there waiting. All they need is an event. Oh boy. You know what happens in these situations. This is why I keep telling you something is about to happen. And Europe is not ran, solely on the dollar. So they kind of need their own little push. And they're just doing it in the open. And they're not just doing it with this digital wallet. They're tying your identity into it, your biometrics into it, all this stuff. And here's the problem with if you're on biometrics and it's got your iris and it's got your thumbprint and all that tied into it. If that gets hacked, you're done. Understand this. If it ever gets hacked, like everything does out there all the time, every day, you're done. You cannot, look, you can reset a password. You cannot reset your iris. You cannot reset your thumbprint. It's over. This is something that's going to happen down the line. But they're not going to present that. They're going to have to hold hostage our monetary system here. Like a cyber attack or a glitch. They did the glitch here this past year. They did. They tested it. It was like a day or so. They didn't blame a cyber attack. They didn't point the finger. They said it was a glitch, straight up. So anything can happen here. But China's everywhere. And the heat's getting put on China. By the time I get to the end of this, you're going to see that China's getting backed into a corner, so to speak, here. Which, the way this is going, China is the number one enemy of this country at this point, no matter how you look at it. They are embedded all over the place more than anyone. And I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but they're making a movie, and I don't know, this feels like it's mockery. It feels like it's straight up mockery. This Cynthia Erivo, she's a black lesbian actress, is cast to play Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl. Whatever all this is, what are they doing? Why would someone like this be playing this role? They have this. Well, she shows up at the Oscars dressed like, I guess, the demon she is, the witch she is. And people are like, what in the...
Holy Mikey! Hey, Mr. Rivas, straight ahead. Cynthia. And Cynthia, right here. Absolute goddess. Cynthia, one more with those eyes, my love. Cynthia, looking this way. Cynthia, with those eyes, Cynthia.
Disgusting. Hate people that are so full of themselves, the ego. But yeah, that thing is supposed to be playing Jesus and something. Like, dude, that's blasphemy. Let's talk about the synagogue here. Pope Francis, an update real quick. Not going to spend a lot of time on this, but he is back into a bad state. He's back on the ventilator. So they thought that he was going to come out. I want to remind you, he said himself that he was not going to survive this. They gave us some positive information, so to speak, on his health the past couple days. But the old Jesuit Pope Francis doesn't seem to have much time left on the clock. He knows as much. And as I say that, you got to think, somebody new is coming. And I put out a whole video on this, put out a whole piece on it. Inside the basilica, on the walls, there are pictures of all the popes that there's ever been. And there's one circle left right next to Francis's. And that individual will be the final. There's all this talk, the Pope, there's all the debates, and everyone's got their opinions. All I'm telling you, it's just one circle left, and someone's going to fill it. He's not the last. They've known this. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. Had to check on something real quick. Better to check on something than to not, right there. So, anyhow, let's dive into the Gene Hackman thing. If you guys didn't hear about this, this was kind of shocking. This whole thing about him and his wife being found dead. A sheriff in New Mexico saying that they may have been dead for weeks. And they noted that pills were found at the scene, and that is concerning. They found him close to the door. The door was kind of cracked open when they got there. Hackman, 95, his wife, 65. They had apparently been dead for as long as several weeks. Where like mummification was happening on the hands of his wife and everything else. So that's pretty... I don't know. It just seems... That's a long time for, like, no friends, no family, no contact, no one, like, no contact with the world. That seems pretty long time. I don't know, just, He's old, man, 95. He didn't have much time left on the clock neither, but there was no signs of a gas leak. I don't know, if he had any health ailments. He could have been in good shape. Right now we don't know why they're dead, but the whole talk of the pills here is scattered all over. It makes me think, what's up with this? Is fentanyl involved or anything like that? Because that would have dropped him dead. And it has to be something that, like, they weren't both shot. They would have seen obvious signs of that. There was no blood leaking from the body. There was no attack. There was nothing like that. It was just both bodies hit the floor and then there's pills scattered everywhere. If you were to take away the names and the age, all this other stuff, and just say there was two people found, male and female, and we walked in, there's both, and describe the situation without the famous name attached and all this, I would say it sounds like an overdose. And fentanyl would be top of my list. Just given what we've been given. Nothing was stolen. It was just like they dropped right where they were at, dead. And that seems to be like poison, overdose. One of the dogs was dead too. All dog had to do was lick it. One pill. All I had to do was just lick one. Granted, the other dog was still alive. But it could have been just not interested in sniffing it and licking it or anything like that. The other dog could have, and it could have been a bad mistake. Apparently, what killed two people and a dog? It had to be, they're saying that it didn't look to be gas or anything like that. And again, another dog was still alive. This seems to be some kind of poisoning thing. And with the pills strewn all over the place, that is like my number one culprit right there. That's all I know thus far. Nothing was stolen. Again, there was no sign of a struggle. They rolled out the gas. Dog was starved and dehydrated. Oh, okay. Well, good point. The other dog could have died from the same thing. Yeah, man. That's just sad. Rest in peace to the lost souls. And a rest in peace here again to Ashley Babbitt that got killed on J6. Her family seeing a wrongful death lawsuit basically covered here by the Trump administration because the Biden regime was not going to do it. Her family, getting... Thank you, John, for the coffee. Getting some closure here in a sense, this whole wrongful death thing, because she was murdered, flat out. She was shot and killed for no reason on that day. The guy that shot her should be in prison right now. Should be in jail for murder, but they protected him. And I think that Biden even gave him a pardon on his way out. Yep, I do believe. So this is the least that they could have done. So that dude is like, it's pathetic, man. They knew all the bad things. They covered as many people as they possibly could. But who cares? A criminal is a criminal. You find out they murdered 1 million people. Oh, he's pardoned. Just let him go. Like, get out of here. Like, the pardon's out the window. Like, the pardon's done. These are high crimes of treason. Pardons are done. That voids them out. You dig? You understand that? Because some people just don't seem to. Again, we're screwed because so many of these people are fakes out here and just on the chump train, so to speak, playing the game, and we have no one to make a stand at this point. We can't even get one righteous billionaire. They're trying to make it seem like that's Elon, right? That's what this whole thing was about. But like, dude, who are you fooling? Mr. Neuralink is not the hero here at all. He is far from it. You got to be fighting against the beast to be the hero, not fighting for it. And I told him as much on Twitter. Or on X, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to keep it pushing here. The Secret Service investigating after F-16 fighter jets get scrambled to intercept multiple aircraft that violate the airspace over Palm Beach. And I'm like, hold on a second. Like, multiple, like something's going on here. So this is what happened. On Saturday, 3 aircraft had to be escorted out of the area by F-16 fighter jets. Like, hold up. Like, this doesn't happen every day, but to have it 3 times. With, like, back-to-back. One was at 11:05. One was at 12:10. And the other was at 12:50 in the afternoon. So within that little time frame, between 11 and 1, 3 incidents. Within 2 hours, 3 incidents happen here. And it says, during 2 of the intercepts, the fighter jets had to deploy flares, with all the planes escorted out of restricted airspace. So, what's up with that? You know, like all the stuff with planes going on, all the stage crap, even with Trump, his ear piercing, all this other crap. 3 planes like this have to get, it's a bit much for me, man. It's a bit much, but that's what happened. RFK catching all this flack, and rightfully so, on the whole measles thing. And I shared plenty of clips over there on this guy, on my ex. I can't stand him at this point. He's been busted through and through. He's not a true Kennedy in my eyes. He's the exact opposite. He's a pawn. And I can't stand him. I can't stand him. I can't stand Tulsi. I can't stand Bondi. I can't stand none of them because I see them for what they are. And they're playing the crowd. So, I'm not going to spend too much time bashing him. Don't like him. So the head of the FBI in New York quits after the DOJ is accusing him of hiding thousands of Epstein documents. It's rather interesting. We'll play this little clip here. Jesse Waters on this.
So who's in charge at the New York FBI field office? Who's withholding Epstein docs from the Attorney General? James Dennehy is running the show there. There he is. This is the guy who emailed his whole staff to dig in after Trump took office. And don't forget that James Comey's daughter is an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. She worked on the Epstein and Maxwell cases. She's kind of knee-deep in this. Epstein was facing sex trafficking charges in Lower Manhattan. Where's all that paperwork? The FBI seized computers, surveillance videos, banking records, file cabinets, and photographs from all of Epstein's properties in New Mexico, the Virgin Islands, Palm Beach, and in New York. The Justice Department also gave Epstein a sweetheart non-prosecution deal 17 years ago. Where are those files? The Bureau of Prisons. Where are those files? You remember where Epstein killed himself? I asked Bill Barr about that, why everything seemed to go wrong that night.
When I first heard all the information and all the coincidences here, I was suspicious.
What were the coincidences? I mean, those were a lot of coincidences.
Well, one of the cameras was out.
Right.
He was supposed to have a cellmate. Cellmate left. They didn't replace the cellmate. And the guards who were supposed to check him every half hour didn't check him.
My EMT source said he was on the scene immediately to pull Epstein's body out to the morgue. And when he got to the cell, he saw 7 people there touching Epstein's body and moving stuff around.
Wow. 7 people moving stuff around, touching his body. So we know that Epstein is covered up. Obviously, we all know this. It's right in the open. And we're getting stonewalled right now by Pam Bondi, which is like an evil clown. I swear she is. This is bad. This is like right on par with the JFK stuff. Last time Trump told you he was going to give you JFK files and all this, he never did. He threw a bone. That's all he's doing is throwing bones all over the place. And his crowd's just chewing on it. But this one is like a smack in your face, right? This isn't just a pie in the face. This is like they took, this is bad. This is for them to come out and say all this about Epstein, and for Pam Bondi to say, oh, it's on my desk, and brag about it and all this stuff. They gave their social media shills, their operatives, connected to Israel. They gave them all these folders, and they all walked out for the little photo op, right? And it said Phase 1 on it. Y'all remember that? Y'all see that? Did you see the files they were, the binders they were holding up? It said Epstein files, Phase 1. Phase 1. Okay? Remember that, because this place big. So then there was a plan there, we now know, for more than one phase. It says Phase 1. So there should be a Phase 2 coming, but let's go over here. Pam Bondi gives an update. She says she was assured there are only 120 pages. This evil clown right here, if you painted her face up, like, that's exactly what she looks like to me. She's an evil clown. She was just another person. Like, I feel like the Trumpers just accept it. Like, oh, Bondi, like, you don't know nothing about her. You just accept her because Trump picked her. It's ridiculous. Again, no accountability, no credibility at this point. So she's saying 120 pages. She's trying to stick to this. Like, what we gave you was it. Like, we gave you flight logs, we gave you this and that, and it's like, no. Like, you all really think that people are this stupid? You gave them something that we already had, and even one of the files was a bunch of redacted stuff. We have the unredacted is already out there. It was pathetic. And to try to play this off, what did Jesse Peters just say? Come on, people, take a step back and think out of the box and see the bigger picture. They've been on Epstein for decades. They've got whole islands worth of stuff on him. Where's it at? They've got videotapes. They've got physical items. Where are they at? Where are they at? They should have rooms full of stuff on this guy. All the tapes, all the everything. Like, you can't just go and get rid of that like that. Like, there would have had to been a huge, and she knows this. She has to know this. She has to know this, so she's outright just stupid. She knows why she's lying to everybody. Like Jesse Waters just blew it out of the box just with common sense. And thank you, Silver Sailor, for the memberships. Straight up. He did. Common sense. Where's all this stuff, decades worth of stuff? Bondi? You're convinced it was just 120 pages. Well, like, that's garbage. What you gave your shills said Phase 1. So that means there's more. Like, they're busted. And, like, we're not buying none of this crap. None of their shills, none of their crap, none of their feds. That's what they've done here. That's what they've done. They've taken this corrupt government and, like a magic trick again. They took in all these people that were barking and yelling and pissed off at the feds. Now they love them. They love their Hegseth. They love their Bonginos. Dude, this is sickening. Smack in your face. They say this is how stupid the people are. We're just going to give them people that they love on social media that we know they like. That's why they put. Oh, gosh, dude. I can see it clearly. And thankfully, a lot of you can too. But these people out here that are falling for it, it's gross, man. It's just it's embarrassing. It's part of the reason we're screwed is because they're not ignorant to just fall for this and take it. Because of the way someone looks and speaks, they like it, and this isn't like, I don't know, man. This is bad. They've pulled this off. This is where we're at. Now we got to deal with it. So Bondi has no problem. No Bondi here has no problem lying to your face about Epstein. And hold on a second. Hold on. Let's stop and think about this. Do you think for a second that, okay, do you think a Trump administration fully backed by the Mossad in Israel, a Trump administration controlled, backed, fully linked with the Mossad, Netanyahu, and Israel? And you know it. They got Trump Heights over there. The whole nine, got him on a coin, King Solomon. The whole freaking nine. They've called him the Gentile Messiah. Okay? So, oh my gosh, dude. This is just, oh my gosh. We're like so screwed. Like, it ain't even funny. Do you think a man controlled by the Mossad is going to reveal an operation that was conducted by the Mossad? Do you really? Do you really think a Trump administration, all the connections to Netanyahu and the Mossad, they are going to expose a full-blown operation that we know was controlled by the Mossad? Epstein was controlled by the Mossad. The whole thing, it was their blackmail project. It's how they get their power. Through these type of rings. And controlling and holding that blackmail over people's heads. That's how it works. You see? You think that this Trump administration is going to expose them and that? Are you... That's... How bad off are some people? How damaged are they? How lost are they in this soap opera? Really? I mean, oh man. How do you overcome this? I ask God, the Most High, to snap these people out of it, man. Wake more people up on the daily, man. Get them to see this for what it is. And to call it out for what it is. Not be afraid to. Yeah. So, Bondi basically showed up like the dog ate my Epstein files. Sorry. Like, oh. Like, and I expect you expect us to believe that. That's the crazy part. Like, seriously, they would expect you to believe that. Like I just said, there is no list to come out. It's never going to happen. Like, you already know the goods. You know that Bill Clinton, because he's on the wall in a dress, as soon as you walk in the door of Epstein's compound, you know he's there. He's on the flight logs. You know all this. You know he was involved with all of it. He is a sitting president. Or he's an alive president. Former president. He is bloodline, is my point. He's untouchable. He is untouchable. They will not touch him. They wouldn't touch Hillary. They won't even touch the wives or husbands. And this. They won't do it. Hillary was front and center at Trump's inauguration. He's had every chance in the world to put her in prison and ran his whole first term on a lie that he wanted to put her in there. Because it's all a lie. It's again, fool me once, shame on, but you're not fooling me again. It's some people, like, I don't know, maybe some are just slower to catch up here. I don't know. At some point, anyone that has any honesty and any realism in them, they're going to have to face the fire on this, on all these things here, on what's going on. They're covering on this. This is never going to get exposed fully. They'll tear open the whole Diddy orchestration here before they'll let you know that the Mossad had connections here. And I have a funny feeling they're going to be forced to have to name a client or something. Like something with the client list. Like if you don't force that much out of them, like something. Like you don't even have to go as far as the Mossad because they're never going to do that. But like just even like one or two names off the client list. Like pin this whole thing on so like somebody's going to have to go down with the ship. Take the blame here. I could see them doing that. Kind of like what they're doing with Diddy. Like those they'll throw their people under the bus. They sure will. They'll even kill them. Just like Epstein. They're dirty. The Mossad are the nastiest, dirtiest, vilest, most ruthless group that's out there. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You need to be reminded on who sent people to document Blind 11 before it happened? Do you need reminded? You need reminded who controls Trump and J.D. Vance? Huh? You think that they're going to drop the goods. Look at this. Here's one. And this is what they're all afraid of. The Epstein curse, as it's called. A former top J.P. Morgan executive and Barclays CEO, Jess Staley, is fighting off all the stuff on him because he's been connected to Epstein. He tried to lie and cover it up, but they're throwing him under the bus. This is what I'm talking about. If they're going to try to set up any examples of trying to pin this on someone or say, oh, this guy, once they've got, like, just like Diddy, once they're taking him down, it's all going to start to come out. And if they can pin it all on one person, for the most part, anyone else that they want to tie to it in the process, then they're going to. So, he just mentioned James Comey's daughter. Did you know this? You talk about deep state. That's right, James Comey that went along with the Russia hoax and all this other stuff. And it's as corrupt as it gets. Comey's daughter is seeded into this whole thing. You know how they roll. Wouldn't you know that she's had a hand in everything having to do with Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, both your cases, and also Diddy. So, really? She just so happens to have a thumb on top of all of this. Well. Just thought you might want to know that. This world is a stage. Okay, let's keep it pushing here. We're already coming up on top of the hour here. I've still got several things to tear into, so probably going to run it till 11:30 at least here to try to cover it all. So, Elon Musk, he reminds me of a frog. And I don't know why, but this biblical passage kept coming to me about evil spirits and frogs. And I seen him, and I was like, man, he looks like a frog. It just struck me. And I'm like, he's definitely an evil spirit. He looks like a frog, so... he's trying to play the card that he's going to get assassinated. That, like, yeah, I'm that close. Like, I'm fighting the deep state that hard. That, like, yeah, this is really going to get me assassinated. And it's like, shut up, dude. Like, you're so full of yourself. The ego and all this, it's sickening. It's disgusting. Straight up, Mr. Baphomet. I'm surprised he didn't wear the Baphomet suit to the Joe Rogan interview. So full of himself, man. Trying to make it seem like he's doing this oh my gosh. Like, he's got so many people played out there. That's the frustrating part. That's why we fight the fight and we do what we do, exposing these fools, but ain't no one attempted, and like, it definitely wouldn't be the deep state if somebody tried to take his life, in my opinion. It definitely wouldn't be them. It would be someone that is pissed off at him for, I don't know, maybe one of 100 million different things that they figured out about him. Yeah, that would be my guess if there was ever to be a threat to him. Not the beast that he is working for, full blown. IMO. So, here's one. Now watch. This is how you know that they've pulled something off and they want They want the rest of the team to know. This is their signal that this whole story was our concoction, and like this is our little stamp on it, okay? And it's pretty simple. When you telegraph the number 33, it's I've had to explain this so many times throughout the years, and every single time it rings true. Just like this one. The FBI returns 33 boxes of Trump's property that was seized in the Mar-a-Lago raid. So the whole thing was a design concoction of their stuff. This shows you it, right? 33, okay? Once you're seasoned in this and you see these things, you know that this is what's happening and what's going on. So there they are. And I've got another one, all right? Okay? 33 boxes, okay? And check this out. I'm just going to jump to it. I'm going to jump to it and point it out right here. Zelensky thanked the U.S. 33 times for helping during the war with Russia, the fact checkers find. Because they're trying to say that he never said thank you ever in this and that, which he has. I'll give him the credit. As much as I hate him, I'm real, I'm raw. He did say thank you. He is on record saying thank you. So much so that they found 33 times. And I'm like, again, get out of here. Like, there we go. There's 2 stories back to back right there that just, I can't. It's in your face, man. So, with this whole Trump thing and Zelensky, I felt that the whole thing was staged. The world is a stage. They're actors. It's just the level that I'm at on this, man. The German chancellor accuses them of manufacturing an escalation against Zelensky. And as much as I probably don't like this dude, I kind of agree with him. Because when I watched the whole thing, 50 minutes, worth the whole thing. Whole interview up to where it went sideways. And then I clipped it and I put it out there, the video on why. Because Zelensky said, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. And he was warning something. I'm telling you, he was warning something. And Trump went off script. He got agitated and I don't know. You could see it. You could see in his body language the way he was operating. He was starting to short circuit. You're not going to tell us how we're going to feel. And all this. But everything in the interview was fine, in my opinion, until J.D. Vance stepped in. And he brought this energy. Like Trump and Zelensky were talking cordial, it seemed. Even though Zelensky was shaking his head no and looking around all weird. They were getting along cordially. It wasn't until J.D. Vance interjected. And when he did, he interjected with this energy like, you're being disrespectful. And it was like, hold on. He's like, I don't think you've said thank you once, and all this stuff. And he came with attacking energy. Okay? He did. And when Zelensky started to say, no, I said, thank you and all this stuff, as soon as Vance was done talking, it gave Zelensky a chance to explain himself. And when he did this is when Zelensky said, you're going to feel it. You've got a beautiful ocean between you and this. He goes, but you're going to feel it. He said it multiple times. And that's when Trump was like, you're not going to tell us what we're going to feel. And he got heated. His orange face turned bright red. And, and then it was 2-on-1 at that point between Vance, Trump, and all this stuff. Oh my gosh, man! This brings me to I gotta share this clip. I've got to. It's funny. It's comical. And this is AI for you here. I just got to go ahead and stop thinking about it and go ahead and play it here. This is AI, it's made up, but you can see Trump snatches dude up, Zelensky here. that's AI. AI is getting so crazy already. Already, someone can just go over to Grok or some crazy AI program, and they can take that image or they can take that series of events, and it will make that out of it. It's pretty nuts. Pretty nuts, man. That one was a funny one. I thought, but it's all AI. That's stuff that you would only got out of Hollywood and other things that an everyday person just couldn't create off their computer at home, before. Now, you just ask the AI to make it and give it an example, and that's what you get. Stuff like that. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. AI is scary. And if you missed it with this whole thing of them blowing up, what this has done, is it's put Zelensky in a bad position, obviously, and it's cut our ties with Ukraine. And it serves as an excuse to do it, ultimately, to Europe and all these other people that want us to stay in the war. It gives this administration in our country an excuse out in the open here to say to hell with him, and we're done. That's exactly what Trump's doing. He doesn't want to talk to him now. He doesn't want to deal with him. He says that he missed his window of opportunity and all these things. And Zelensky's gone over to the UK and struck up a little deal of support there in trying to have Europe back him. So Rubio is demanding an apology from Zelensky. And I don't know if he's ever going to get it, because Zelensky's on his power trip. I mean, you've seen how he is. He's not saying sorry for nothing. He went to the UK, now he's going to Europe. And Europe needs war, because that's what their economy has been set up on. Everything and how they got it driven. And that war is largely propped up against the boogeyman Russia for them. And I'm going to tell you now, we may be seeing a changing of the guard right now. Right now. This would be huge. And I've always suspected that behind the curtain, Russia and the United States were in on this thing together. Because if you did any research on history, and I love diving into history, you'll find out that, World War II, when it ended, that it only ended because these two bad guys, these two guys that were not buddied up on the world stage like we have been with Russia. We haven't been buddied up. Out of nowhere, they came together and they won the Second World War. And our presidents watched parades and everything in Moscow after the victory, and Russia's leadership was driving around American-made cars and all this stuff. There's a huge thing there. But they had a meeting. And after the meeting, they basically said, nope, look, you're going to go back to your corner. We're going to go to our corner. And the only way that we can both make money selling weapons and is keeping a war machine going. You're going to play that corner. I'm going to play this corner. And that's how we're going to make this whole... We're both going to profit by basically tricking the whole world and thinking that we're enemies. And they did it. They went straight to that. How are you going to win a world war and be celebrating, come out of a meeting, go to opposite corners, and come on. And really think that they hate each other? Russia is the only other country out there our size that is Christian. It is a Christian nation. Do you understand that? Just from a religious standpoint. And it's red, white, and blue. The similarities, you're not going to find another country that is that close in nature like that, with that much power and everything else. It's definitely not going to be China or India or anything like that. So, it's always struck me as why are they our enemy? Why? This didn't make any sense. When we've got so much more in common. Because it doesn't work any other way on the world stage for the war machine. And that's what it's been. That's what it's truly been. It's where all the money's been, the control's been, all that, the slaughtering of people, even to current Ukraine-Russia warfare. It's the slaughtering of people in that region. It's sad, man. And the rabbis called for this. There's a rabbi on record that called for it. The liquidation of the people in this region. Okay? Again, part of their plans. That if you ain't hip to, you ain't going to see what's coming. But Europe is relied on the United States. NATO has relied on the United States to be its military muscle. We all know this. But now it's changing. It's shifting. We're kind of like telling the UN, F you, and all that. And like we're signaling that the US could potentially be, if it pulls out of NATO, it would be crazy if it happened that way. But Europe would be on their own. What would entice them to do that, and how could they do it? Well, if they buddied up with Russia over anyone and everyone else, like no one could stop us. I told you this before. And it's the only way that you're going to stop China. It's the absolutely only way it's going to happen at this point. You're going to have to there's going to have to be a rug pull. There's going to have to be something done at some point. They've set it up nicely, though. They've set it up throughout the years. Ever since World War II, they've let Russia buddy up and get in tight with China. So they've got them in that aspect. And at some point, it seems there was always going to be a confrontation coming down because China, the people are spilling over and have been already into the bordering areas of Russia. They have been. And Russia's just let them get away with it. But I don't know, there's a difference in a lot of things there between those two countries. Just look at religion and everything I just said. You've got more in common with the United States, Russia does, than with China. So, it sounds kind of like far-fetched at first, but the more we keep diving into this, something's happening. The relationship here with Europe in the UN and all that, NATO, the Trump administration is almost like flipping them the bird. And this whole stage thing that just went down with Zelensky, obviously it was to show they're done. Okay? So there is no NATO or nothing. There's nothing massive without the U.S. involved. They've relied on us the entire time, the money and everything. The U.S. spent $8.4 trillion in the past decade. The whole entire rest of NATO only spent $3.8. So we paid $8.4 trillion throughout the past decade for NATO, and their whole rest of the team couldn't even come up. The entire rest of the team, all these different countries, could not even come up with half that. Yeah, that's how much we've been footing the bill. And that's why Trump keeps saying this, that we've paid for everything. And he was saying it in that interview with Zelensky, and he was shaking his head, no, that Europe's done. No, proof is in the pudding here in the numbers. Just hear from what we know. There's black budget stuff out there and all that, but on the surface, this is ridiculous. So you talk about saving and spending. What is cut the money going there? Oh, what's this? The United Nations chief warns of a global funding crisis due to U.S. cuts. I don't know. I laugh at that right there you deserve it, but then I immediately get the impression of a false flag coming. 11/11. Much love, y'all. So, this is a real thing. They're pulling money from the UN and everything else. Israel was even saying F you to the UN, was attacking their posts, overrode it on top of Mount Hermon. There is a changing of the guard happening right in front of your face. It's happening. And they're saying, screw the UN, screw all this other stuff, we're setting something else up. And something is shifting. Okay? So here we go. What's Trump's response to all this? He's stopping all military aid to Ukraine. This came out of a breaking headline tonight. This is the direction it's going. He's ticked him off that bad, so to speak. And it's done. So this did it. Like, it's over. And he said all this before, no more money was going to be sent and all this other crap. But then he changed his tune and said, oh, we might still keep sending money. But now it's completely changing up. We're starting to see what he meant the other day when he was tweeting out or posting on Truth Social about huge announcements coming with Russia. He's going toward Russia a way that's never been done before. Ever. Okay? What's happening right now? This has escalated. A summit. It's been expedited, as it says here, in wake of this whole thing. So they're trying to get Putin and Trump to have this meeting. They're rushing it now. To get this thing put together officially. Okay? Now look at this. The U.S. halts all offensive cyber ops against Russia as Trump makes these moves. So he's reached out and he said, look, we're pulling back all of our attacks right now. So, you know Russia's going to see this. You can't just say it and not prove it. Like the guys on their end that are fighting the attacks the other way, they're going to be like, oh crap, they actually just stopped. They actually just stopped. Then they know you mean business. And see, these things are happening. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Crazy things are happening between the United States and Russia right now that are huge, in my opinion. Huge. What's the next one? The U.S. approves a new Russian ambassador as a major reset is underway. This should be huge headlines across the board. It should have been in a title tonight, like all this. Like, this is huge in itself. There's something massive happening right now. He flipped the bird to Ukraine and Zelensky, and the page is turning. Ambassadors are going back. American businesses are going to go into Russia. Vice versa. Dude, this is a huge move versus how it's been in all the years past. Completely different. Completely different. Look what it said. A major reset is underway. Like, ambassadors are being put into position. Like, what's this one say? Putin ally in secret talks with the Trump administration to restart the Nord Stream. So I've always said the world's a stage. It's all crap. Even Europe. Europe wants to say, oh, Russia's the big bad boogeyman. You're so full of crap. You're all liars. You know who keeps Europe alive in the winter? Every year. Every year. Russia. Russia's natural gas and everything keeps the heat on and keeps them all alive. That is the facts, Jack. Look it up. If Russia wanted you dead, they'd have cut it off any winter. So you're full of it. You can shove it. Sick of it. It's all lies. It's all crap. It's all garbage. And that's the truth. They really wanted you dead and wanted all this other crap. They'd done it. Then I cut you off, said screw it. They wouldn't care about no pipelines. You'd be done. So this is stupid. All this talk of Russia's the big bad boogeyman when they're the sole reason you're alive. Seriously. It's pathetic. I look at the real of this stuff, man. What's this say? Rubio, while everyone's looking over here with this Ukraine and caught up in it, what's he do? He expedites the delivery of $4 billion to Israel. Like, oh, everybody's caught up looking over there. Like, give me $4 billion real quick. We'll throw it to you guys. He did it. And they do it in the open. But, like, the moon must have been void of course. Or something. Like, no one's going to say a word. So, $4 billion. This got slid over to Israel while no one's paying attention, so to speak. And he overrode Congress. Like, people should be protesting all this. Again, I told you who controls this whole administration. They just sent them $4 billion. Okay, why is Israel reportedly lobbying the United States to keep Russia's bases in Syria? Are you paying attention? The whole stage is changing right in front of your face. People that miss these live streams and miss these updates, they're going to be so lost on what's happening, like literally on the world stage as you know it. They're all so much going on, but it's changing. I'm showing you right here. A massive reset is underway involving Russia, and you were hearing Israel openly asking the United States to accept letting Russia keep its bases in the region. Well, why would that be? Because that's going to be their protection. That's it. They even say as much. Because there's nothing else you can say. There's nothing else you could say or do at this point. It's a curtain drop moment. Literally. This is a world stage. I've told you this. It's why they call them theaters of war. Okay? And you've been played your whole damn life. We are blessed enough to be able to figure it out this day and age with information at our fingertips. Our forefathers that believed in their country and went to war and died, they didn't have all this knowledge. Or half of them would have never even signed up and went to war because they would have known that right in their own country in D.C. was the problem. They wouldn't allow their sons and daughters to join the beast and all this other stuff, but they didn't. We didn't have internet. We didn't have information flowing back then. They bought the lie they were fed, by and large. It's most do. But when you have knowledge, it's power, and it changes the game. And now, like most of you would know you're not going to go fight for this beast because you see it for what it is. But we've all been lied to so bad this whole time. But there's a major restructuring happening. Like the world order is shifting, literally. And the pieces are changing up, and they keep bringing up, what is China going to think? And they even ask Russia, is China going to get pissed that you're doing all this? They're like backstabbing them, and they're like, we're not backstabbing them. That's how Russia sees it right now. It's like, we're just expanding on opportunities in this peace. This peace doesn't have to always be war. And this is interesting, man. This is super interesting. Like, this move kills World War III, like between Russia and the United States, in a sense. Now we're on the same team if it continues down this road. That's bad news for anyone else. It's bad news for anyone else. China, India, it doesn't matter who it is. Europe, it doesn't matter. Like, this whole thing was set up this way for a reason. This whole Zelensky thing, it was just so this whole shift could go into motion. There's no way that this is all sprung about in a day or so. No way. These things take weeks, and you know it. They take time. All these things to work out. This is all prepackaged. And like I said, Trump was already posting about this beforehand. Like, there's huge things to come. Like, so now we see what's happening. There's a huge shift happening. You better get used to it. This is where it's going. It's where they're taking it. I think that's going to piss off China on the world stage, and they're going to hit us. It's going to be blamed on them. And Xi Jinping's just as much of a pawn as Trump and any of the rest of them. They're all players. He was groomed by Henry Kissinger. Look it up. Look it up. Okay? The world is a stage. Xi Jinping is Western trained, educated. You're being played. Emperor of China and all that's Rothschild controlled. You better know it. You better know your enemy. Because they've controlled both sides of every major war, even the current day. They have. Because they control the whole banking system. And that's how it works. Where are we at here? Still got some more here. I'm trying to rifle through. So the U.S., while no one's paying attention, gives Israel the green light to stay in Lebanon indefinitely. You know, just like Gaza, go in and clean it all out. Oh yeah, you can just stay in Lebanon forever. Yeah. Stay in there forever. To hell with them people, right? Hell with their sovereignty, the fact that they're their own country, all this stuff. The hell with all of it, right? We're a democracy. Like, you can just go in there and trample any of their rights, and like, it doesn't matter, right? It's going to clean it all out, right? Right? Because that's what they're doing, right in front of your face. He's putting a stamp of approval on Israel expanding their project, as I've showed you, into these areas, in these targeted areas. And they've already put Egypt, Jordan on the chopping block, and their leadership, and said, look, you're going to take these migrants right here or else. And they both started to get shaky in the knees, and we're like, look, we're not doing it. Like, we're not taking these people in. And they're like, all right, then, we're coming at you next. And Israel said as much. Like, dude, they said they were going 7 war fronts, and we counted them out. We laid them all out there. And they're in the midst of it. They're in the midst of it. You're watching it emotional on a daily basis. What's this now? Israel threatens military intervention in Damascus as international or internal fighting is happening. So what they're trying to say is that some of these groups, and it's all stage 2. It's all stage 2. They're trying to say that these groups, Jolani and all them, that paved the way for Israel to even get in there to begin with, now they're trying to act like they don't like them, and that they're backed by Turkey, and that they're the problem, and they're all fighting now in there. This is crazy. This is, if you can't see how much of a stage, bunch of crap this is how Damascus is going to fall. Staged fighting. But very real bombs and everything else, but it doesn't have to be. You ever wondered how it was going to fall? Well, here we go. All hell is just now beginning to break loose there, by design, by them, Israel and I guess the HTS. Now they're going to go at it. So how do you think that this is going to end up? How do you think this is going to end up? With an Israel that drops bombs on everything. Now that they've got control of the goal and they got a clear view and shot straight down into it. You better watch out. Because now, more than ever, out of all the years Assad was in there, out of all the years bombs rained down all over the place, and even Israel launching rockets into there, never has it ever been under more threat than it is right now. Skip this and try to... All right, and this talks about India. India, the most populated country on the planet. Who is their number one problem? It says on the brink of a multipolar world order shaping up. Who is India's biggest problem? China. Yeah, you were never going to be able to do this without India. Because China and India together, that to populate the numbers are just, they overwhelm. But if you could find a way to wedge China against India, then from someone else's perspective, you might have solved the problem. Have them go at it, annihilate each other, and well, there you go. There you go. They keep their radiation plume over there, confined to their territories, and they eliminate each other. Yeah. How are you going to get Deagle numbers? How are you going to get them on the Chinese and the Indians? Huh? How are you going to get them? It's either by a huge war that breaks loose or a massive, deadly disease. And I'm talking the real pandemic that takes out mountains of people, like off World War Z. Bodies stacked up in little mountains. Yeah, that is it's like one of the two. Take your pick. Something is released, or you're going to war and taking out huge chunks of people. What's sad, what's crazy, and scary is I almost think that them releasing something is more probable. Yeah. Let me see here as we're like coming up on 11:30 here. Trump declares the border invasion over. So he's made that announcement. And can you believe this? Trudeau has come out and he has declared the cartels terrorists in a stunning turnaround. So he's done it. They've turned around. Both Canada and the United States have declared they're in this against the enemy that's sitting down in Mexico. Do you understand this? And the freaking front line is our southern border. The freaking front line. And Hexeth says Mexico is on notice. They say that you either curb all this coming in or we're going to start conducting military strikes on the cartels. We don't care what you say. You can amend your constitution. You can say this and that. We don't care what you say. It's about to begin. It's going to be a long, hot summer. Okay? And what does that tell you? Look at this next one. The Pentagon deploys mechanized infantry, air support to secure the border. More troops, thousands more troops. Dude, it's going down. It's going down. Like, you don't do this for nothing. Like, they're mounting up. They're going to start hammering them and hitting them. And you'd be a fool to think that they're not going to get, like, shot back. They've already been shot back at. Already, man. An IED blew up and killed a Texas farmer I reported on last week. Some dude, man. Thank you for the coffees, man. Much love. I appreciate the support more than you guys know, man. And that is the best way to support the show, through coffee. I also have PayPal link, crypto links down there. And, of course, all you guys that hit the super chats. I appreciate that as well. And a shout out to all the members of the underground. I was going to mention something about the world order. I already did. It brings us pretty much to a close here on this stream. Just going to check the chat, get some final thoughts and all that here. Those that are going to bed. Good night. Much love. Thank you for joining us. For anyone that's catching us later. Anybody out there that's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification here on the channel. Most people tell me they got to come to my channel and check it daily. You have to do the same thing on X. So I was engaged with somebody talking on X today. About something, and I was like, it's pretty crazy. You're sharing all my stuff, and you don't even follow me. And they're like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, no, you don't. And they looked, and they were like astonished. They were like, no, like I followed you, and like I'm not all of a sudden following you. Like they were like shocked, and I'm like, welcome to my world, And then I caught several other people that the same thing happened to today, and I'm like, how is this happening? That they're like being they're like something is automatically like unfollowing them. But I know on X that I'm targeted. I always have been because of me. It's just me. They've put me in the dungeon and they've never let me out. And they never will. It's just something you have to live with till you're gone. When you're the real deal out here fighting the fight, this is how you're done. You're definitely not promoted and shared and put on front page and notifications sent out everything you do. Nah. I even had another guy show up today like, I just found your Twitter, man, because I remember watching you back in the day on YouTube before it died. And I'm like, dude, like, we ain't gone nowhere. Been here every day. Ever since, probably since the day you left, nothing died, you just disappeared. Or like you stopped showing up. You see, they're not getting a notification from me right there. That's how bad it is. That's why that happens. That is simply, they ain't seen one in years. Years. It's insane. So bell notifications, all this stuff, man, like, I just thank you guys for spreading the information, sharing it, word of mouth, sharing it, on social media where I can't reach, getting in front of eyes that I can't reach, into circles that I can't reach, and hopefully here one day in the offing at some point before it all goes down, there can be another get together of good people. I don't rule that out. I don't know that I'll have one this year, but I have people that ask me of the Knowledge Conference and all this other stuff that want to meet up, want to hang out, want to meet good people and all this, and I get it. I just haven't had the means and the time to do any of that, to plan for any of that. I've gone through hell this past year. You got to remember this past summer, they took everything from me. They demonetized. They shut me down. They did everything. They rocked my world, so to speak. But you didn't see me putting up no freaking GoFundMe and any of this other crap. The only thing, any support that I've ever had is you guys. And I truly appreciate it more than you even know. Through the tough times, the hard times, all this stuff. I just want you to know it's appreciated. But I don't know. It pains me to see the movement getting used and played all the time. I don't sell products to you. You know, I could bring some righteous products in here. And really could. Throughout the years, I've passed them so much. And Quantum, thank you. Because I'm not an Alex Jones. I'm not selling you male vitality and all this crap. But I've had people with good, righteous stuff come along my way, even to this very day, all the time. And I pass on it. It's the realness factor. And just not to be pushing anything on you. Like, we're here for the truth, and that's it. So, and it just feels better that way. You know, if some huge opportunity, if something came that like was good for the people and I couldn't pass it up, I'd probably jump on it. I did it years ago with a thing called Tiger Stream because I truly thought that, hey, with this box, and you could have had this box and you had cable, you had anything you wanted. You had cable, all these channels, all this stuff. You didn't never have to pay a cable bill again. So I thought it was a plus. No one ever had to pay for cable again. But still, it's just, yeah, I think you get it, man. I'm sick of seeing the scammers and the stuff out there in that department. And I don't know, man. I don't even sell t-shirts for those that ask. I don't do it. I just don't do it, man. I've had all the stuff set up before in the past, and I would rather, and thank you, Charles, for the coffee. I'd rather just, whatever support you guys show me, I'm fully open and accept that and thankful for. But it's like I'm cool with that. Like, I don't want to, like, the money factor, you got to understand in this game, it's always been the defining line between the real and the shill. Because the shills are always out here saying they can get money off of clicks and all this stuff, and that's what it all becomes. That's the first litmus test. And I've seen so many come along that I've met throughout the years that have just blunt. They act like they're here for the truth, act like they're the real deal, but then the next thing you know, like, they get demonetized and they're throwing up GoFundMes. They're seeking like $200,000 and all this stuff to keep their news network going and all this crap. When they're just shills. All they were doing was selling crap the whole time. All they wanted, or were in on it for the whole time, was money. They come over and cherry pick me, guys like me, every day for information and cut our name out of it and present it like their own. I'm sick of it. I've seen it all throughout the years, man. I can't stand none of them. This has taught me there's so many disgusting, vile people out there. It's one thing I've learned through all these years. They don't give up hope. They don't give up hope in meeting good people, but they are a remnant. You are of the few. There's so many demons, so many people that just use you or try to use me to try to get somewhere or to advance their own agenda or whatever. Like, so many people that I've met have just wanted to use me. You understand this? Lindsay, welcome to the underground. Thank you, Wild West. Just use me for their own gain. thinking that they're going to get famous, thinking that they could hitch a ride off me and try to blow up their channel, this, that. It's all happened to me. Just to get stuck in with a knife. So many people. And usually you don't see someone's true colors for a couple years. But I've met people at conferences, I've met people in this life and running the streets that I give a chance to. And they played me. I've given years of my life to help other people, and that did not appreciate it, and it never happened again. I've literally given years of my life to help other people try to get set up out here, to do everything that we talk about, to get off grid, to survive this thing, to get on land, to do all this stuff, only to have them not appreciate it, and it just be a waste of my years off my life, my precious time that I don't have much left of, right? None of us are promised tomorrow. This place has taught me how nasty, how evil it is. It's just that bad, man. It's just like the days of Noah. It comes to me all the time. Why did it even happen? Because the souls were telling God, we're not going back in there. It's that bad. And that's where I'm at. I'm not going back in here. So I'm doing everything I can fighting this fight to prove to the Most High, to show that I deserve to elevate from here. I didn't just sit here and watch and do nothing. How crappy that's going to feel. For some souls that get turned back because they didn't do nothing. Oh well. As much energy and everything that I've put into this all my days, all my life, anyone that wants to lack or slack, it's on them. That's their choice. That's just sad. You want to save every soul that you could save, right? But it's on you. You have to walk righteous. You have to do it. You have to do something. They have to put it into motion, man. You have to walk it out. You have to not to sit there and do nothing. I don't know, man. I don't know what the next event's going to be. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but I can guarantee you this. The soap opera will continue. If I had any huge warning signs right now, it would be to not have all your eggs in one basket, like all your money in the bank or on a 401k. I've said this before, but I think you're literally like almost too late. I don't know how long it's going to take. I know some people did it quick. They showed me and proved as much. Other people say, oh, it's going to take months. But maybe that's just an excuse. But, people are full of excuses. And people are liars. People will tell you what you want to hear. People will say all the time, oh, I'm praying for you, I'm praying. And won't even take the second to actually say a prayer. They don't even realize it, how bad they are. Because they're so brainwashed in doing it. Oh, we're praying for you, we're praying for you. Yeah, but we're praying, yeah, we're praying. But never even take the second to do it. That's a fraud. It's a fraud. I salute all of you that actually do it. And I join you in praying to the Most High and asking that we can win this fight. We got the odds stacked against us. But I truly believe that this is something that only a higher power can wipe out. Not even the richest men can take on this evil. And none of them even do it. They don't even feel that they could stand a chance. We don't even have one rich billionaire, good man fighting the fight right now. Not one. It's going to take the highest power to wipe these tares out. To separate the wheat from the tare. It's prophesied. It's coming. It's harvest time. He returns like a thief in the night. His King of Kings on his thigh. He returns with the sword. If you forgot or you don't know. With the sword, all the people, oh, you're too hard, Dabu. Jesus wouldn't say, well, you're talking out of the side of your You're regurgitating crap is what you are, and looking for an easy way out. I'll tell you what Jesus said and did, because I actually read it, and I preach it, and I walk it out. He said he returns with the sword. They also said you need to sell your cloak and go buy one. So you can say whatever you want, okay? I see people distorting things and twisting things all the time. They try to do so on a sign. Coming into town that we seen, they were trying to say something about, people that were, I forget how the wording went. It was homosexual, basically. It was trying to show the support for him. But then on the other side of the coin was like, because the passage they were trying to use was vague, and it didn't really say what they were trying to use it for. And I was thinking to myself, man, when instantly, when what loads into my mind when I think of the Bible and homosexuals is, and I'm, if you want to be gay, be gay. That's your choice. I had an aunt that was gay, and I said, loved her with all my heart. All that. That's how people were born, and all those choices. That's on them. Again, you're cutting your own path. You're doing whatever here, okay? But what I'm telling you, biblically, we want to talk about what the Bible said, right? Well, what the Bible said, right? There's a story, in case you forgot, of Sodom and Gomorrah. And a man named Lot, and these Sodom and Gomorrah got lit to high heaven, got nuked. And do you know why? Because all the people there were trying to screw the angels. Have gay sexual relations with them. Go, do you want to go read the passage yourself? Go do it. That's what happened. It's a fact, Jack. The next thing you know, the angels said, pack it up. We're out of here. Don't look back. Lot's wife did, and she got smoked. So what were they all trying to do? They were trying to kick down Lot's door to have sex with them angels. Do you understand? Do you understand? Tell me, what God do? What did God do? He smoked them. He smoked them. Won't bring me some passage or some shh. That's the passage that comes to mind to me right there. What he do? He smoked whole cities. So you can go on bumping your guns about whatever. That's the real. And as it was written. I love all my peoples out there, though, man. All shapes, colors, sizes, backgrounds. We're in this together. The whole goal is to walk as righteous as you can be. Right? To be as good as you can be. I truly feel that's the only way you're going to get out of here. I think Jesus, Yeshua, told you as much, said as much, set the example as much. I don't think he would be very happy to see people that are doing nothing. He said that we could go on to do things greater than he. That's amazing for someone that walked on water, fed the masses, healed people of diseases. He said we could go on to do greater things than he. And I see a mass of people that just don't believe anymore. They put more faith in a Gentile Messiah than they even do the real Messiah. And that is the days that we are in. Shut it down, man. If the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I will see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. Legendary, Eon. Legendary. Much love. And thank you so much. Yes, he fits. Much love, Quantum. Soul. And again, Eon, you're legendary. It's crazy. Like, no one could support the channel on a stream at night, and like, you show up with 7 coffees at the end, and it makes me like feel bad because, like, I don't know, and it's like I'm not asking for more for anyone to donate when I say this, but like, out of over 1,000 people watching, it's like you could be the only one that shows up to even donate, and it's like, without you, no one would. Sometimes, and it's like, man, bro, for every stream, being there every stream, I can't thank you enough, bro. For real.